finish up a good 3 days of work. I think all 3 days, I think our coaching staff would say was positive, so that's a good thing, a week before we play. Tomorrow we'll do a little bit more game type situations, kind of like a dress rehearsal, just to make sure we have everything covered, and all the little things that go from there. Depth chart, we will release next Tuesday. We still have a little bit of work to do. We've got an idea about some positions more than others, but on Tuesday we'll have everything lined out.
Will the dress rehearsal tomorrow will be at the stadium, or will it be?
What's that?
Will it be at the stadium tomorrow?
A possibility. We're still kind of talking through that.
How many positions, is it still the left guard is still the thing that's up in the air? How many other positions would you say are up in the air?
Just a handful. I don't think there's a whole lot more than a handful.
Any decision on the punters yet?
On Tuesday we'll have the day. Yeah. On Tuesday we'll have the depth chart, and I'll give it to you, and we can talk about it.
The last couple of years, you guys had a package for Jeremy Johnson week to week. Obviously, things are different now. Do you have a package for Sean White week to week to bring him in, no matter how Jeremy's performing, or is it that dynamic change this year?
Well, and we think Jeremy can do everything we need to do. Sean, at the same time, has a complete understanding of our overall offense too. So, as far as packages, really. Looking back to what Nick's first game he started, I don't know if we had a package for Jeremy at that point. I'm not saying later on we may, but right now we're planning on Jeremy Johnson taking the snaps.
Duke still with the second team then?
Yes.
Is it possible for him to take reps with the first team next week, or are you still?
We hadn't got that far.
You feel any better or confident about your special teams units and how many young guys can fit in certain spots at this point?
We've worked extremely hard on special teams this fall camp, and we will have quite a few young guys, at least helping with those positions. And so, we feel as good as you can before you play a game. There's nothing like, especially the young guys, getting out there and evaluating them in a game and seeing how they respond. But I think we got some guys that'll bite, that want to get out there and do what we ask to do in that area.
Gus, chemistry-wise, getting here a week before the season, basically, what's your feeling about where this team is?
I like our overall team. I like our leadership. Our guys are coachable. They're trying to do what their coaches ask them to do with a great attitude, great effort, and that's really the most important thing. And so I like where we're at.
You still believe that the makeup of this team reminds you a lot of 13 in the way going into a season?
It does from the standpoint of some veterans mixed in with some young, talented guys. That's probably the biggest thing. I mean, hey, we'll see what happens. I mean, that team got better each week. They won close games at the end of the game. I mean, that we got our work cut out for us to follow in that footsteps. That's the plan, and I like the makeup of our team.
Going into a season with all these expectations, top 7, pick to win the league, does that change the dynamic any of how you approach it compared to, say, 2013?
Yeah, no, it really doesn't. I mean, from a coach's standpoint, you're trying to prepare your team, and you're truly taking it one game at a time. Yeah, you look at the schedule and you look at the grinds and all that, but you've got to take it one game at a time. And we've got a lot of question marks. We got potential, there's no doubt, but we're going to have to improve, and we're going to have to win some close games. We know that. So we're just focusing on this first one. And like I've said before, we've got our hands full, and after this first one, we'll go on the second one, and we'll just kind of evaluate where we're at.
Have you selected team captains yet?
Not yet. I'm hoping by Tuesday to get you that too.
A big picture question for you and your career. Just when you look back, how important would you say 2010 was, and Cam and the championship and all that was, and being a Royals finalist was for you and your career and getting a head coaching job in general?
Well, I mean, that was a memorable year, there's no doubt. I mean, anytime you're fortunate enough to be with a group that wins a championship, I mean, that's a good thing. And, I always talk about experience, nothing better than experience helping you in those situations if they come about again.
Rhett's one of the, I ask because Rhett's one of only a couple of Royals finalists the last few years yet to change jobs, and you've certainly said over and again that confident in his head coach ability. Is it fair to say that the next year or two with Jeremy will be very important to Rhett's career path, would you say, obviously?
Well, I mean, Rhett's an outstanding coach regardless, you know, of what happens the next year or two. And he'll be a head coach at this level regardless of what happens the next year or two. It's just a matter of when. But, you know, we're tickled to death to have him, and he's doing a very good job for us.
When you were back in the state of Arkansas, at Arkansas State, and across the way, things happened with Bobby Petrino and he got fired. What was it like in the state at that time, those weeks?
You know, that was the first year I was a head coach at Arkansas State, and we had, you know, had our hands full with what we had going on. So really, there wasn't a whole lot, you know, that I remember or hear and talk about it. I mean, we were focused on our team.
You talked about how happy you were with the injury situation. Is that still the case?
Yes. Yeah. I mean, we're, you know, I'm not going to say we're banged up or beat up. No, it's a good, healthy. You know, our kids we've had a physical camp, so we got to do a good job this week of getting everybody back, and we got a good plan, and you know, I feel good about where we're at in that area.
Will you return to practice Sunday like a normal game week?
Yes, we sure will. Yeah, we'll get in that game week routine on Sunday, and we'll try to, you know, it's good that we're finally almost there to get in that routine that we do the same thing every week.
Will Sunday be more of a full practice though than like a normal Sunday?
It'll be a little bit more than normal, like we've done the last 2 years, and you know, then we'll get into you know, how the season goes, how banged up we are, about, you know, how long to practice on Sunday, and it varies.
Guys, I'm sure you saw the Wall Street Journal report yesterday. Just, do you have any explanation for how come so many of your players were in the same age over the last couple of years?
No, you know, each individual player, you know, they pick their major, they pick what they want to graduate and what they want to do in life, and so, no.
I guess carry on just like 10 days or so with that ankle. Does that change just kind of how quickly he can be available this season?
You know, he's been back out there this week practicing. What's really caught my attention is he's really bright as far as football knowledge goes, and you know, you put him back and it's not like he missed much, and so that definitely should help him, but he will definitely help us, you know, this year.
All right, Coach.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you.